first full day in Sedona. 4:30. Uh-oh. In the dark.
Does it look okay? Yeah. Good morning. We're about to go on our hot air balloon ride. I'm talking quietly because we don't want to wake anybody up. The sun is about to peek over the mountainside, the red rocks across from our hotel, and we need to go down and meet our ride for the hot air balloons.
We'll pick up there.
It's a beautiful morning.
Above this little crossbar when we land. Don't want you grabbing it down here because these cables can pinch your fingers really bad, but up here's fine.
Grab it up there. Okay.
In the two corners of the balloon, you've got these black hoses. These are not great. Oh no, don't grab these. I don't care if you grab them both together, just no fuel lines. Now, if you are from New York or have been there, this is not a subway handle. It should only be grabbed by you guys in the event of a mutiny. Yes, I'll be doing a whole lot of that. Woke you right up, didn't it? There are gauges and valves located on the tanks in the four corners of the balloon, and periodically I'll be making a panicked lunge for one of them. Pay me no, never mind, just let me through. All right, we're going to heat this thing up and get out of here.
something to lean against. I got a canister to lean against it. Oh, quiet too.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
More of an earth sound.
Still like it. From about 800 feet in the air, we're climbing at 550 feet a minute. This is about the max you get out of any conventional light aircraft.
Oh yeah.
You really pour the coals to it.
Yeah.
The balloon's going to actually outclimb the plane really easy. If it makes you feel any better, inside this leather wrap on the top there's steel. Okay. Now see, remember I pointed out Cathedral Rock when we were driving out from the Hilton? That's the other side of it right there.
Yeah.
Off to the north of us, we can see the San Francisco Peaks. That's the highest point in Arizona, almost 13,000 feet.
I saw some snow up there. It looked like driving in.
Still a bit of snow.
Yeah. Look at that, right on top of this tree. Pretty cool.
Man, look how close we are.
Yeah, I know. You're below the ground. See a cactus right there? Is that weird going like that? Pretty smooth pilot, man. He's right through there. Cruising like that.
I know. That's funny.
Don't try this at home.
Hold on, baby.
Yeah, you get it? Wow, this is like a documentary.
Good 3 or 4 inches on that one.
Sorry.
Something down there.
What do you see?
Something with 4 legs.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's a
Good.
muley.
Where?
Well, it's kind of in a shadow of that
Yeah.
tree. It looks
Right
white.
behind
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yellowish.
Right behind the cedar there.
It may be, I don't know. Is it a coyote?
See the shape
No,
of
it's
it.
very
a deer,
tall and
some sort of.
It's a muley.
You can see the shadow of it.
Okay, if you
that
guys
little
look
tree?
right over there at the edge, there's a little round tree. See it? There's like a ditch right behind it.
Tim walking.
There you go.
Okay, if you go to this
And I
spot,
can't see it on
Tim
here.
walking, see recording?
Right out in the open there. This one.
which would make it a deer.
Can I get a deer?
No.
There's a ants are very acidic little creatures. They're also a source of ascorbic acid for vitamin C. So you can actually eat ants, and it's good for you. Not good for the ant. But there's a lot of them. Now we're going to go on. This isn't a good place to lay out the balloon. I didn't like it. And they're out till about noon. Then it gets so hot they go back into their. Truck along pretty good. Should be there in a minute. In fact, I'm counting on a little drift to push us to the left. There's a creek bed over there on the other side of this hill, so I figure I got a little drainage lens and should shift it a little bit to the left. Towards the left. In fact, we're trying to turn. Remember all the stuff I told you again? We're going to get all the way up to the paved road here, though. Side road. Yay. Okay, hang on.
stop. Look at that. Look at that. We still had 12 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We just finished the most wonderful hot air balloon ride that I've ever been on in my entire life. Only one, but that's all right. It was a really good time. We had a great hot air balloon navigator, and now we are about to take our first hike, although it'll be a short one because we're about to go back and play tennis. But anyway, we're about to go, you're really close to that camera. We're about to go hike and see some more red rocks.
Up one of these, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay, now I'm thinking, if they can hike down that trail, goodness, surely we can too, huh? All right, old lady, you are 34 now, so come on. Here we go. All right, a little update. Here we are, probably some 20 minutes into the hike. We're on the trail. Going down the trail less traveled. And one of these days I'm gonna climb that mountain. Our trail guide. We'll see how close we can get up there.
Did we say we were moving to South Carolina? We meant Sedona.
This is quite a path here. Not sure what that is. Unless it's just a trail marker of some sort. Because you could certainly get lost out there, couldn't you? Hello. Kind of looks like out Mike and Pat's back door there. No, not really. Scorpion? Buzzard? Lizards. Alright. Lizards. We gotta watch these little cacti. If you're not careful, you can come up on some cacti and it'll get you pretty good. A little bit of an opening. Alright, we'll see how far up we can get. Alright, this is Steve. I can't do the accent. But we're certainly off the beaten path here. Especially if we're gonna climb that thing. We've seen a couple lizards. Seen some roadrunners. And no scorpions yet. Alright, we'll keep looking.
You taking your shoe off?
No.
Here he goes. Ouch.
go to the Dayton Mall and learn how to climb a rock. But this is as far as we're going. What a view.
2, 3.
Hours and hours at the Dayton Mall. Now, hopefully learn how to climb a rock, but I don't know how to climb down. This could be a problem. Seriously. Seriously. It looks like one big slide from here. That can't be good. So, get ready to catch me. Are you looking to make money off this tape?
Maybe. You need a hand? I'm your helpmate. I'll help you. Just jump. Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky. Problem is, it's so slippery.
I guess it was easier going up. Come on, buddy. Really?
Seriously. It's all shell or whatever.
Bedrock?
Yeah, that too.
You look like a crab on the beach. Maybe you need a walking stick.
I think I need that rope so I can jump down. I just hope I don't need snake anti-venom or something.
Okay, I'm going to turn this off and come help you.
No, we're fine. That was the trick once I got there.
Okay.
All right. What's that cactus?
Don't try that at home, please. The getting up's easy, the getting down's hard. But
Well, this is sort of a night shot and there's no way you can see how this looks. But this is so cool. If you could see the entire rock formation with the moon coming up behind it, that would be so cool. But no, you can't see it. There's some more. And we're standing out along the highway. We got a little night vision going on here. This would also be, I guess, in case we see any. No, I'm not going to be able to catch anything here. Alright, well, it's too bad we can't get a good shot of that. That's so cool. Yeah.
And then do one for 60 seconds and all that, and then it would turn off.
Well, alright. We're going to try to get this tomorrow. The night vision. This is pretty cool. We were, for a while, we were looking for scorpions. Oh, where did they go? Thought we were tarantulas or something out here. Cool. Alright. Alright, here we are, day 2. See, the morning sun has come up. And day 2 doesn't quite begin at 4:30 or 4 o'clock, but it does begin at 7:06. Can you believe that? At 5 this morning, that sun was about as bright as it is now. Out there. Okay. CJ?
I'm getting water.
Day
so-
2.
Oh.
What's the plan today?
Pink Jeep. We're on a pink Jeep ride. We're packing water. We're going to go eat some breakfast. And we're going to do some off-road travel and see some ancient Indian ruins and come back and hike some more.
That's right. So we'll see you on the pink Jeep tour. Bye. All right, you ready, bud?
Let's rock and roll.
All right, that's our Jeep. Let's get boarded.
Oh, okay.
We have some relatives outside Cleveland.
Go.
Okay, yeah.
So
Here's
go
our
there.
tour guides right there on our
We've
trip.
ran into a man from Cincinnati on a Hunter balloon ride last time. Fourth of I should have grabbed that sunscreen.
You'll be fine.
I put a light coat of it on.
All right. There we go.
Okay, everybody's got their seat. Clump growth is mistletoe. And mistletoe is a parasite. It only grows on another tree or bush. It is slowly killing that tree as well. Now this is Bear Mountain to our right, and if you use your imagination a little bit, you can see the big sleeping bear. The whole top of the mountain is the bear laying on his belly, and to the right is the bear's head, coming out a little bit towards us. We do have black bear in Sedona. They do hibernate in the canyon. Get a nice panoramic view, and then we'll head out to the ruins after that. Chimney Rock is here in the middle. Thunder Mountain, Doe Mesa, and Bear Mountain. Now, Sedona used to be sea level about 300 million years ago. And over the course of about 200 million years, there's a large plateau that formed out here. All layers of sandstone and limestone. We'll get some really better close-up looks of that when we get out closer to the ruins later. But over here on our right is House Mountain. Way out there with the little nub on the top of it, that's a capped volcano. Now, Sedona actually filled up, it was like the Gulf of Mexico without any water in it. We had sandstone, ocean, sand, deserts. Of our wildlife, of course, we get lots of lizards out here. And we get rattlesnakes and gopher snakes and garter snakes as well. I can never promise, but we keep our eyes out. We've also got jackrabbits, bunny rabbits, tarantulas, scorpions. This is known as a mimosa acacia. We've got a couple different kinds out here, the little brown ones. Acacia is also known as cat's claw. Tiny little There he goes. Good bushes,
Go to this next valley.
The two big trees to my left and right here are known as shaggy bark juniper. And they get little berries in them. Berries were used by the Native Americans for seasoning and flavoring. Today they're used for flavoring gin, the alcohol gin. The bark peels off. If you look to the left, you can see how loose and pliable the bark is. The Native Americans used it as bed matting and also for lining papooses. It's very absorbent. It's kind of like the first disposable diaper. Layering the bottom of the papoose. That would protect the outer papoose layer from anything that dribbled out of the diaper at that point. So we call them disposable diapers.
This is
I thought you drove bad.
don't turn this in the Odyssey.
No backseat driver. These bushes are known as holly oak. They're usually a blue-green color. And they do get acorns in them. Nice close-up look at the 3 camels. Camels Caravan. And then there's Thunder Mountain. That Doe Mesa's kind of behind us. And off to the right, you're looking all out. He's discovered it. And so we call it the old hippie ghost town these days. And they've renovated quite a bit of it. And the old hospital's now the Jerome Hotel. In about 5 years, it's down to the snakes know you're there before you know you're there. They will rattle to give you a warning. When they do strike half, you're like, they burn themselves
Yeah.
really fast. You know. Oh, look at the ant. Flower will shrivel up, and then that little bulb underneath will start turning purple. Once it gets totally purple, it's white. Here's everybody gets to know each other really well on these tours.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see Bear Mountain over there. It's really
Oh my.
We've got 5 full-time mechanics. We spend about $6,000 to $8,000 refitting the Jeep, which is why Jeep doesn't advertise. They're all lifted. The shocks on them are Australian. The front suspension and rear suspension are all Canadian. Tires are Goodyear tires. That's about how long they last. About 8 years. Look at my head, bud. The big crate farm. Sure. Ranch of Christy now in Las Vegas. They get enclosed and shipped to Berkeley. 4, 6, 8 hours long.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That's where we're going. That goes cut by water. Oh yeah, just wait and see. We're not chicken.
Alright, everything is split equally between our 2 children. And Yeah, look at that.
Sure.
Tag on. Look, there goes up the other side. Yeah, she's way up over there. Well, that's where we're going.
Which one? Oh, what was I gonna say?
A nice area of flowing water. It still gets water in it when it rains. It is full of snake dens and fox dens down in here. If you went pulling up the rocks, you'd find some rattlesnakes back in here. Most typically western diamondbacks have been the most common ones found back in here. You might find a scorpion or two as well. Now, clear scorpions are more dangerous than the darker colored ones. You don't want to get stung by a scorpion that's what you call like a glass-like scorpion, like the ones in Texas.
Here we go again. And up. Wow, that's what we were.
Press it halfway down at all.
Self-focus? Okay, gotcha.
All right. You guys ready? Alex. Hey, okay, good. Let's get you in one too. Safe driver.
Sure. You want to take one with me?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go here. My good old pinky here. Come on, let's. We'll see some artwork up here that's about 5,000 years old that they used this as an old camping area. This is over in this section while they were hunting and moving through the area. Early man did any places for so long. They had to move where the food supply was. About 200 BC. This is new wall. We'll go up into the rooms in a minute, but this is the new retaining wall and the new trail that's going in. There's erosion happening out here. The butte comes out, leans out, so the water will come down through here and down into the creek bed where they got their water. This is also where they probably buried their dead. Typically, they would bury them right outside the outer walls. Now, we don't know if there's grave sites here. There's enough rubble and growth on top of this, they don't plan to excavate it. They did excavate the burial sites at Tuesday. They don't feel they can find out anything more found before. But in the process of putting in the trail, they do sift through, and they found pottery. It's just that. It's interpretation. We're not exactly sure what all of it means. We'll give you some ideas of what the Hopi and the Yavapai think it means. But you'll get different archaeologists in here that all have their own theory as to what it is. But we're going to start right in front of us over here. If you look right across, you'll actually see some etchings in there. A couple of them are birds, and it's a little hard to see. It's straight in front of us. There's two birds there, and there's also a rectangle with arms and legs right in the middle there as well. There's also a shield up here to the left above the blue dots as well. But we'll show you some artwork. It's a little easier to see. But they're actually etched and carving. There's also graffiti in here as well. We're going to see stuff that's from the 1880s all the way into the 1980s, and we're not going to point. We're not really sure if it was the maternity suite, but it's one of the few areas where there is an inner wall. Now, they already had their back wall, so why add another wall? Probably for a storage room or maybe for birthing purposes. And the reason for that is some of the symbolism. The red circle there with the line through it is a fertility symbol, female native fertility symbol. There's a spiritual figure to the left of it. The Blackjack Army Band, well, we consider it historic graffiti, Pershing in 1917 hunting Pancho Villa. Whether he was here or some of his men, we're not sure, but it's considered historic graffiti, so we leave it there. Now, you can't really remove the graffiti, because if you remove the graffiti, you'll remove the artwork. It is sandstone. Typically, the Native Americans would seclude the mom and baby for a while until they got their energy and their strength, and there would be a naming ceremony to name the child. Up above, we have what we call quadrupeds, four-legged animals. We're not exactly sure. Maybe look like coyotes or something up there. Now, you're going to see what we call circular swirls, and if you look up here, There's circular swirls, and to the Hopi, this means a passage from the underworld into the current world. Okay, you have the below. What you do is you pass through the cracks in the rocks, basically. And snake figures usually meant the underworld, passing from the current world to the underworld. You also had your spiritual path up above. Typically, they meant depicting winter solstice, summer solstice in the current world, and the winter solstice and the summer solstice in the underworld. Also, they were known to be directional. The red T that you see below the 2 rows of X's usually means a direction of pointing where there's rock art. And if you go to some of the more remote areas out here, you'll see circles with dots in them, usually meaning there's most of this is Sanawa artwork as well. Now, we have a flute player, and you're going to have to look. You see where the 2 rows of X's are? We're going to come down, and right there he's standing with his flute facing to the right. Yeah. And he's got his arm out, and he's got a hunched back. It's what we call a kokopelli, which is the fertility guy. We're going to show you one that's actually drawn phallic, laying in all his good nakedness. That's how they used to draw them initially, laying on their backs. But that's a flute player, typically associated with the Hopi. So the Hopi believe they are descendants of these people, although there's no archaeological evidence tying one culture to the other, and we'll explain that in a minute. Now, not all the stuccoing is remaining on the walls. There's actually stuccoing that's missing, that's flaked off over time. Again, these walls are over 700 years old. We believe they started building in the mid-1100s. But their first building techniques weren't all that terrific. They had, oh, look at this. He's dragging a cricket. That is a tarantula wasp. Now what he's going to do is he stung the cricket. Get that? He has. And he's dragging it into his den. And there's a little hole over here. He might actually be dragging it in there. He's looking at me like, hey, I'm not going to take it. You want it? You better take it. You better take it. Yeah. He's got him. Yep. He stung him. He's going to haul it into the hole. They do that with tarantulas. And then his arms, he's got 5 fingers and 5 toes. There's actually another figure to the right of it. It's harder to see. This is what we call burnished or smoothed on. We drew that above as well. I'm looking down. Now that shield up there, we're going to see one in the upper alcove. There's another one down below. We call them tribal shields or identification shields. What's interesting about this one is it has 104 points around the outside of it. It looks like a sun. One theory it is a sun. Or second theory, it is an agricultural symbol of the growing season. Cob corn takes 104 days to mature, and that's what they grew, was shorter corn. They didn't grow the big, huge corn that we have today. They grew shorter cob corn as well. With all the deer around it, maybe they're asking for a blessing for a good hunt, possible. The spirit figures all up here with no feet on them, and the big, long fingernails, they're known as Hakaka. They're lightning gods, and they're Yavapai lightning gods. Thunder Mountain was for the thunder gods. They believe the spirits lived in the cracks of the rocks, coming out to protect them or to tell them what to do or whatever. There's a figure on horseback right up here, which means it had to be later on. Also notice this is orangier in color. And they basically would dig a pit, and the agave stalks we talked about on the way in, they could chop those up and roast them in the ground to soften them up. And that would be an area. There's also bits of basket material and agave root and stuff like that back here that have been found. And also the narrower walls. You need the soot way up on the top as well. So could have roasting rooms. They did have to bake some things in the ground, much like we do today. Some of the cactus roots and stuff like that. We'll come over this side and we'll point out the stuff here. Yeah, we just bought one of those logs full of grasshoppers and a whole immersion room. Throw it in. And some people think that depicts his mule train. He used mules because if they ran out of food, mules taste better than horses, if you had to cook a mule. So that's what they did. But that's a theory, but we're not sure. It could be a hunting party. There's more red, orangier lines over here, almost like a birthday cake. But here we've got stuff that's even darker, right here. See how much darker? That's even darker. This is probably older, maybe Anasazi. We're not sure. Maybe they were also in this area as well. A person that was born with a deformity was given a special task. We don't think that's a typical kokopelli. We call it a Hopi flute player, because kokopelli always had a hunched back. They actually had a hallway through the lower rooms here. You can see the T-shape over there. Now what's interesting is we don't know why they built T-shaped doorways. They did in all their sites. The doorways were T-shaped on the inside. Now they've been excavating this. This is where they found the badger dens. And this is going to be the new viewing stand when they're finished with it. They're still doing some work. What's happening is we're finding people going under the tape, which is why we put all that branch stuff down there. People were up here digging through the buckets a couple weeks ago, which is not a good idea. Not us, but the general public. These were all rooms all the way down, and the outer wall started on that very left-hand section over there. Now we have another clan shield, way up there, the big white one on the top. To the right of it is a big power figure. Now, is that a pregnant woman, or is it just a plump man? We don't know. This was a matriarchal society. It's believed when you married, you moved in with your mother-in-law. pretty much children were raised by the uncles and stuff like that. I love my mother-in-law, but I wouldn't want to live with her. She's a little ditzy from time to time. To the right there, between the shield and the big power figure, there are two Indian figures drawn. Those are more modern. Those are not Sonawa. We believe those were Yavapai or Apache coming in because the detail, they actually have, they're clothed, and there's headdresses and there's bows and arrows, so we believe that was added in later on. It's a little whiter as well. But all below the blue dots there are human and animal figures, or what we call zoomorphs. Now, a lot of those human figures don't have arms or legs. Spiritual, maybe. The Hopi tell us religion changes over time, much like it even does today. And what these people believed as a religious entity may not necessarily be what the Hopi or the Yavapai believe today. So things do change, but they are human. They're hunting in the plain areas, and we think they melded in with those groups up there, becoming the Hopi that we know today, because we don't find any evidence of them after having been in this valley. So, kind of a mystery culture. Okay.
So how much further out did this extend?
Just where the wall is there.
Oh, right
just
there.
That's where
Okay.
the drip line is.
Okay.
That little viewing stand is just outside the drip line, so when it rains, we'll be standing in the drip line, which we thought they'd move it. But they actually chiseled away the flat rock, and this is all smooth flat rock under here, so the wall came right across, and right behind you there's wall. Right on the rock behind you. That's wall.
Oh, yeah.
How high it came, we don't know. Even Jesse Fuchs didn't describe it all that well. He just said it was a wall. And the pictures he took were very rudimentary. They're just of a worker sitting here in the corner. But there is, it's just the way the sun's hitting it.
That's pretty. Thanks.
Day to Red Rock Creek Canyon. Is that right?
Yes?
Yes, yes. And we're just gonna have a great time. We're gonna hike in, come back, relax. We're a little bit wiped out because we just finished the pink Jeep tour, which was very good. We have dirt everywhere, but went to the pool, cleaned it off. It was great. Ran into a friend from college. Just a weird thing, but it was really neat. She was the one that kind of got me and David together on our first date, which is fitting since this is kind of like our second honeymoon. So, anyway, that's all I have. Do you have anything else, David?
No, we're
No.
going, it's end of day 2, and it'll be the end of this tape. And the next tape will start with the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
But we're going to Red Rock,